Hi, my name is Emmy McDonald, and I'm going to be talking about the Jane Austen novel Sense and Sensibility. One thing that really stood out to me whilst reading this book was how different every character is. Each character in this book has their own set of unique aspects that make up their personality, and although they are so different, Jane Austen has created this perfect dynamic between the characters. Not only that, but she created these characters that have so much depth to them that you cannot help but fall in love with and relate to them. Specifically, I want to discuss the differences between the two eldest Dashwood sisters, Elinor and Marianne. Elinor, the oldest of the three, 19 years old, and Marianne, the middle daughter, 16 years old, their relationship is almost stereotypical in the fact that Elinor has this "I'm going to take care of my family first" mindset, which you would expect from the oldest sister. We see that while Marianne is dealing with her heartbreak from John Willoughby, Elinor tends to her and keeps her in as good health as possible, even though she is going through a heartbreak herself. She would rather treat people with love and compassion than admit that she needs the same attention that she shows to others. Throughout the book, Elinor shows regard to the people she cares about much more than she is shown by those same people. Elinor tends to suffer in silence while attending to the needs of other people because she knows that everyone has their own burdens and she doesn't want to add her sufferings to those weights. It is also made evident that Elinor avoids confrontation. When something comes up at a gathering that may irritate her, she keeps her calm and refrains from showing her emotions, again so that she does not bother or offend anyone. Marianne, on the other hand, is very open to showing her feelings and does not withhold her true thoughts from anyone. When she finds out about how Willoughby often abandons the young women he dates, she ignores all risks of drawing attention and being rude and confronts him. While Marianne is a kind and loving person, much like Elinor, she's not afraid to confess that she's hurting and needs to be helped. Marianne is often the center of attention because of how open she is. She is quite the opposite of Elinor in the way that she handles grief. Once again, much unlike her sister, instead of avoiding conflict, she will approach anyone and tell them how they have wronged her. This is clearly shown throughout the novel, once with Willoughby, again with the Ferrars, etc. She tends to put herself first in these situations with no regard of who she might disturb. Now, while it may seem that Marianne is an outgoing person, she is actually a bit shy. When she's at gatherings, she often goes off by herself and plays the piano or observes the artwork or things of that nature. I believe that this is because she is described as an extremely beautiful person. Therefore, she wouldn't have to put in much effort for people to be drawn towards her. While Elinor is also said to be very attractive, Marianne is the better-looking sister, which is why Elinor is much more extroverted and social. The period in time in which this was written, outspoken women were more than likely perceived as rude and unladylike, but Marianne came from a well-respected family and was an alluring young lady, so she did not have to watch her behavior as much as most girls her age. These things are proven by how many men in the book become infatuated with Marianne. Colonel Brandon is even initially attracted to Marianne because she looks like his first love. Marianne is also quite immature in the way that she believes in love at first sight, while Elinor is more on the side of seeing how well she relates with someone and how much she enjoys their company. In the beginning of the book, when Marianne thinks she will marry Sir John, Elinor points out that the two would have close to nothing to converse about. However, towards the end of the novel, Marianne realizes that the way she wanted things to happen before was wishful thinking. Again, while the Dashwood sisters are extremely different, they have a wonderful bond. We see time and time again how much these two care for each other. Elinor takes care of Marianne, and Marianne is often checking in on Elinor. They both acknowledge the other's needs and does their best to support their sister. Jane Austen has used these differences between the sisters to emphasize how much they complement each other and help to rid the idea of uniformity in young women. She used their flaws to show that not one person is exactly the same, and there are many ways to handle grief, to show sympathy, and to show love. This book is not only about heartbreak or how it is important to act sensibly, but it also shows a beautiful illustration of sisterly love.